There is a prayer that only the humble can pray. It begins not with confidence, but with confession. Not with answers, but with admission. It is the prayer of a man who has reached the edge of his own wisdom and found it lacking. The prayer of a soul that finally understands, I do not know. God, show me what I still cannot understand. Billy Graham spoke these words, and they echo across time like a bell in the darkness. Because this is not the prayer of weakness, it is the prayer of awakening. It is the sound of a heart cracking open to let the light in. And if you have never prayed this prayer, perhaps you have never truly needed God. Perhaps you have lived in the illusion that your eyes see clearly, that your mind comprehends fully, that your spirit walks in truth. But you don't. None of us do. The Apostle Paul himself, a man who saw visions and spoke with angels, admitted in 1 Corinthians 13:12, For now we see only a reflection, as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. Even Paul, who wrote half the New Testament, confessed his partial vision. Even he understood that human understanding is fractured, incomplete, shadowed by flesh and ego and time. So what makes you think you see clearly? What makes you believe that your interpretation of life, of suffering, of God's silence is complete? You walk through your days carrying judgments you call wisdom. You hold opinions you call truth. You defend perspectives you call faith. But have you ever truly stopped and asked, what am I missing? What am I still blind to? What is God trying to show me that my pride will not allow me to see? This is not a comfortable question. It strips you bare. It removes the armor of certainty and leaves you vulnerable before the Almighty. But it is the only question that leads to transformation, because God does not reveal himself to the man who thinks he already knows. He reveals himself to the one who whispers in desperation, Open my eyes, Lord, I am still blind. In 2 Kings 6:17, the prophet Elisha prayed for his servant, saying, Lord, open his eyes so he may see. And immediately the servant saw what had been invisible, an army of angels surrounding them, protecting them, standing between them and destruction. The danger was real, but so was the deliverance. The servant simply could not see it until God opened his eyes. How many of us are standing in the middle of God's protection and calling it abandonment? How many of us are surrounded by his angels and crying out that we are alone? How many blessings have we labeled as burdens because we cannot see past the surface? You are blind to more than you know. And the tragedy is not the blindness itself, it is the refusal to admit it. It is the stubborn insistence that you have figured it out, that you understand the ways of God, that your suffering has no meaning and your waiting has no purpose. You have made yourself the judge of God's timing, the critic of his methods, the prosecutor of his silence. But what if you are wrong? What if the very thing you're resenting is the very thing that is saving you? What if the delay you are cursing is the protection you are receiving? What if the closed door you are pounding on is the wall that is keeping you from walking into destruction? Jesus said in John 9:39, For judgment I have come into this world, so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind. He was speaking to the Pharisees' men who were so confident in their spiritual sight that they could not recognize God standing in front of them. They studied the scriptures. They memorized the law. They prayed in public and fasted with discipline. But they were blind, blind to mercy, blind to grace, blind to the Messiah. And Jesus looked at them and said, "You think you see. That is why you remain blind." This is the great danger of the spiritual life, not ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge, not weakness, but the pretense of strength, not doubt, but certainty misplaced. The man who says, "I see clearly," has already closed his eyes. The woman who says, "I understand God's ways," has already stopped listening. But the one who prays, "God, show me what I still cannot understand," that soul is standing on holy ground. That heart is preparing for revelation. That spirit is making room for the impossible, to be taught by God Himself. So I ask you now, before we go any further, are you willing to be wrong? Are you willing to discover that your anger was misplaced, that your bitterness was unfounded, that your despair was built on incomplete information? Are you willing to let God show you what you have refused to see? Because if you are not, this message will do nothing for you. It will pass through your ears like wind through an empty room. But if you are desperate enough, broken enough, humble enough, then everything is about to change. Let us begin with the truth no one wants to hear. You are not as wise as you think you are. You have been walking through life making decisions based on limited vision. You have been interpreting pain through the lens of your own experience. You have been drawing conclusions about God's character based on incomplete evidence. And you have been doing it with such confidence that you never stopped to consider, what if I'm wrong? This is the human condition. This is the tragedy of the fall. When Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they did not gain complete understanding. They gained the illusion of it. They gained just enough knowledge to become dangerous to themselves, just enough sight to believe they could navigate life without God, just enough wisdom to become fools. And you have inherited that same curse. You see enough to think you understand. You know enough to form opinions. You experience enough pain to construct narratives about why God is absent, why prayers go unanswered, why hope feels like a lie. And those narratives feel true because they are built on real suffering, but they are still incomplete. They are still shadows. They are still reflections in a broken mirror. In Isaiah 55:9, God declares, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." This is not poetry. It is a warning. It is God saying, "You cannot comprehend me with your limited mind. You cannot judge me with your human logic. You cannot measure my purposes with your mortal timeline, but you try. Oh, how you try. You sit in your pain and you construct a theology of abandonment. You endure betrayal and you build a doctrine of divine cruelty. You watch dreams die and you write sermons about a God who does not care. And you preach these sermons to yourself every single day, reinforcing the lie, deepening the darkness, convincing yourself that what you see is all there is. But it is not. There are forces at work you cannot perceive. There are battles being fought you cannot see. There are angels moving and demons being restrained and prayers being answered in ways that will not make sense until eternity. You are living in the middle of a story you do not fully understand, and you have made the fatal mistake of thinking that your chapter is the whole book. A woman loses her job and calls it punishment, but God is removing her from a company that would have destroyed her health. A man's relationship ends and he calls it rejection, but God is protecting him from a marriage that would have ended his calling. A child dies and the parents call it cruelty, but God receives that child into glory and begins a work in the parents' lives that will reach thousands. You do not see this. You cannot see this. Not yet. Not from where you are standing. In John 13:7, Jesus washed Peter's feet, and Peter protested. Jesus responded, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." Later, not now. Not in the moment of confusion. Not in the middle of the pain. Later, after the resurrection, after Pentecost. After the Spirit comes and opens eyes and rewrites histories and reveals purposes that were hidden in the suffering. But you want to understand now. You demand explanation in real time. You insist on knowing why before you will trust who. And so you remain stuck, spinning in circles of confusion, imprisoned by your need to comprehend what God has deliberately concealed. There is a reason God does not explain everything. There is a reason He hides certain truths from you. It is not cruelty, it is mercy, because if you knew what was coming, you would run. If you saw the full cost of your calling, you would refuse it. If you understood the depth of the surgery God is performing on your soul, you would beg Him to stop. So He hides it, He veils it. He reveals only what you can handle, step by step, moment by moment, breath by breath. And He asks you to do the one thing your flesh hates most. Trust me in the dark. But you don't want to trust in the dark. You want light. You want clarity. You want a detailed map with highlighted routes and estimated arrival times. You want God to be predictable, manageable, controllable. You want a deity who explains Himself, who justifies His actions, who submits to your approval. But that is not God. That is an idol. That is a projection of your need for control onto the Creator of the universe. And as long as you worship that false image, you will remain blind to the true God who is working in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Your heart is tired. I know it is. You have prayed prayers that seem to bounce off the ceiling. You have believed promises that feel like they expired. You have held on to faith until your fingers bled, and still the answer did not come. And now you are tempted to believe that you were wrong about everything, that God is not good, that His word is not true, that your faith was foolish. But you are not wrong about God. You are just blind to what He is doing. You are standing too close to the canvas to see the painting. You are reading one sentence and calling it the story. You are living through winter and forgetting that spring is written into the fabric of creation. You are experiencing the Friday crucifixion and despairing, forgetting that Sunday is already scheduled. This is the human condition, brilliant and blind, capable and confused, made in the image of God yet unable to see Him clearly. You are a creature of eternity, trapped in time, a spirit clothed in flesh, a child of light stumbling through shadows. And until you admit that you do not see clearly, until you stop pretending that your limited perspective is ultimate truth, you will remain trapped in the prison of your own understanding. But here is the key. God wants to show you what you cannot see. He is not hiding truth from you to torment you. He is waiting for you to stop insisting on your own interpretation so he can reveal his. He is standing at the door of your understanding, knocking, waiting for you to open it and say, "Teach me. I do not know." This is the moment of revelation. This is the turning point. This is where blindness ends and sight begins, not when you figure it out, but when you surrender the need to figure it out. Not when you finally understand, but when you finally admit you don't. In Psalm 119-18, the psalmist prays, "Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in your law." Notice the request, not "give me new information," but "open my eyes." The truth was already there. The word was already written, but the eyes were closed. The perception was blocked. And so the prayer is not for more content, but for the capacity to see what is already present. How much of God's work in your life have you missed because you were not looking for it? How many answers have you dismissed because they did not come in the form you expected? How many miracles have you walked past because they were wrapped in ordinary moments? How many times has God been speaking and you called it silence because you were listening for a different voice? God reveals himself to the seeking heart, not the arrogant mind, not the demanding will, but the seeking heart. The heart that says, "I know I do not know, and I need you to teach me." This is the posture of revelation. This is the soil in which divine truth grows. Jesus said in Matthew 11:25, "I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and learned and revealed them to little children." Why? Because children ask questions. Children admit ignorance. Children come with empty hands and open hearts. They do not pretend to know what they do not know. They do not defend positions they have not tested. They simply ask, "Will you show me?" And God answers that question every time. He answered it for Moses at the burning bush when Moses asked, "Who am I?" And God responded, "I will be with you." He answered it for Job in the whirlwind when Job demanded explanation, and God responded with questions that reframed everything. He answered it for Paul on the road to Damascus, when Paul thought he was serving God by persecuting the church, and Jesus appeared and said, "You are wrong. Let me show you the truth." God is still answering that question. He is still revealing what is hidden. He is still opening blind eyes and deaf ears and hardened hearts. But he will not force his way in. He will not bulldoze your pride. He will not compete with your certainty. He waits for the invitation. "God, show me what I still cannot understand." And when that prayer is prayed in sincerity, everything shifts. Suddenly, the trial you resented becomes the training you needed. The loss you mourned becomes the liberation you required. The delay you cursed becomes the protection you received. The pain you thought was punishment becomes the pruning that produces fruit. The silence you interpreted as absence becomes the sanctuary in which your soul was rebuilt. God was working the entire time. You just could not see it. In Genesis 50-20, Joseph, after years of slavery, false accusation, and imprisonment, looked at his brothers and said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Joseph did not say, "God caused this evil." He said, "God used this evil. He redeemed it. He repurposed it. He wove it into a narrative of salvation that Joseph could not see while he was in the pit, in the prison, and the waiting. But later he understood. and you will too. One day you will look back at this season and you will see it differently. You will see the hand of God where you once saw only chaos. You will see the mercy of God where you once saw only cruelty. You will see the purpose of God where you once saw only pain. And you will fall to your knees and whisper, "You were there. You were always there. I just could not see." But you do not have to wait until then to trust. You can trust now. You can believe now. You can pray now. "God, I do not understand what you are doing, but I trust that you are good. Show me what I cannot yet see. Teach me what I do not yet know. Open my eyes to the truth I have been missing." And He will, not all at once, not in the way you expect, but step by step, line upon line, precept upon precept. He will lead you into truth. He will reveal what was hidden. He will restore what was broken. He will resurrect what you thought was dead. But hear this warning: time is not unlimited. There is a window in which God opens eyes. There is a season in which revelation is offered. And if you spend that season clinging to your own understanding, defending your own perspective, insisting on your own interpretation, you may miss it. You may walk past the very truth you need because you were too proud to admit you needed it. In John 12:35-36, Jesus warned, "You are going to have the light just a little while longer. Walk while you have the light before darkness overtakes you. Whoever walks in the dark does not know where they are going. Believe in the light while you have the light, so that you may become children of light." There is urgency in these words. There is a deadline. The light does not shine forever. The opportunity to see does not remain open indefinitely. Do not play games with this. Do not assume you have endless chances to humble yourself, endless opportunities to seek God, endless time to admit you were wrong. You do not know what tomorrow holds. You do not know when the door will close, when the offer will expire, when the season will shift and the light will fade, and you will be left standing in the darkness of your own certainty. Proverbs 29:1 declares, "Whoever remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy." Without remedy. Not because God stopped offering healing, but because the heart became too hard to receive it. Not because truth stopped being available, but because the ears became too deaf to hear it. Not because light stopped shining, but because the eyes became too blind to see it. This is the tragedy of spiritual pride. It does not just delay transformation, it prevents it. It builds walls so high that even God's voice cannot penetrate. It creates dungeons so dark that even divine light cannot reach. And the person inside those walls, inside that dungeon, genuinely believes they are free, believes they are right, believes they see clearly, but they are dying, and they do not even know it. Do not ignore the signs. Do not dismiss the warnings. Do not brush off the conviction that is stirring in your spirit right now. If you feel something shifting inside you, if you sense God tugging at your heart, if a small voice is whispering, "There is more, you are missing something," do not silence it. Do not rationalize it away. Do not wait until it is more convenient to respond. Respond now. In 2 Corinthians 6:2, Paul writes, "I tell you, now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when you have figured everything out. Now, while the light is still shining, while the door is still open, while your heart is still soft enough to be shaped, because the human heart has a terrible capacity. It can become so accustomed to darkness that it no longer seeks light. It can become so comfortable in blindness that it stops asking to see. It can become so confident in its own understanding that it stops listening for God's voice. And when that happens, revelation ceases, not because God stopped speaking, but because the person stopped hearing. Do not let that be you. Do not become the person who looks back with regret, wishing you had surrendered sooner, wishing you had listened more carefully, wishing you had prayed that prayer, God, show me what I still cannot understand. Do not be the one who spent years defending a false narrative when truth was being offered the entire time. The enemy of your soul wants you to stay blind. He wants you to remain convinced that your perception is reality, that your interpretation is truth, that your understanding is complete. Because as long as you believe that, you will never seek more. You will never ask for revelation. You will never humble yourself enough to receive what God is offering. But you are reading this right now for a reason. These words have found you at this exact moment for a purpose. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is the Holy Spirit intercepting your life and saying, stop, look, listen, there is something you are missing, and I want to show it to you. Do not walk away. Do not close your heart. Do not harden your neck. Lean in. Pay attention. Open yourself to the possibility that everything you thought you knew about this season, this trial, this waiting, this pain, everything might be incomplete, and ask God to fill in the gaps. Ask Him to show you what you still cannot understand. And here is the promise. He will. God is not playing games with you. He is not withholding truth to torment you. He is not hiding His purposes to frustrate you. He is a Father who delights in revealing Himself to His children. He is a teacher who rejoices when His students finally grasp the lesson. He is a shepherd who searches for the lost sheep, not to punish it, but to bring it home. And He is searching for you right now. In Jeremiah 29-13, God promises, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Not with half your heart, not with conditional surrender, not with 1 foot in and 1 foot out, with all your heart, with desperation, with hunger, with the kind of seeking that says, I will not stop until I see. I will not rest until I understand. I will not settle for shadows when you are offering light. And when you seek Him like that, you will find Him. Not maybe. Not if you are lucky. Not if you are good enough. You will find Him because He is already looking for you. He is already moving toward you. He is already preparing the revelation you need. Do you know what God did for Elisha's servant when he was paralyzed by fear? He opened his eyes, one prayer, one moment, and suddenly the servant saw armies of angels. He saw protection he did not know existed. He saw the reality that had been there all along, hidden only by the limitations of human sight. God will do the same for you. He will pull back the veil. He will tear down the walls. He will shatter the illusions that have kept you trapped. And you will truly see that you were never abandoned, never forgotten, never alone. You will see that every closed door was a divine redirection. Every delay was a divine orchestration. Every loss was a divine pruning. Every tear was a divine watering of seeds you did not know were planted. You will see that God was not absent. He was present in ways you could not perceive. He was not silent. He was speaking in languages you had not yet learned. He was not cruel. He was kind in ways that required suffering to accomplish eternal purposes. And you will weep, not with sorrow, but with relief. Not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Not with anger, but with awe. Because you will finally understand He was working. The entire time He was working. In Romans 8:28, Paul writes, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." All things, not some things, not just the good things, not only the things that make sense. All things, the betrayals and the blessings, the losses and the gains, the waiting and the receiving, the questions and the answers. All of it is being woven into a tapestry of redemption that you cannot yet see. But one day you will. One day you will stand before God, and He will show you the full picture. He will reveal every hidden purpose, every secret mercy, every invisible intervention, and you will see your life the way He saw it, not as a series of random tragedies, but as a masterpiece of grace. But you do not have to wait until eternity to experience this. You can begin to see it now. You can ask God to open your eyes now. You can pray for revelation now, and He will give it to you, not all at once, but enough. Enough to keep walking, enough to keep trusting, enough to keep believing that He is good, even when life is hard. This is the promise. God will show you what you cannot yet understand, not because you have earned it, but because He loves you. Not because you have figured it out, but because He delights in teaching you. Not because you are strong enough, but because He is strong enough to carry you through the revelation. So stop striving. Stop defending. Stop pretending you have it all figured out. Come before Him with empty hands and an open heart and pray, "God, show me. I am ready to see. I am ready to learn. I am ready to be wrong so I can finally be right," and watch what He does. So here is the question you must answer before you close this page, before you return to your life, before you move on to the next thing. Will you pray this prayer? Will you bow your head, humble your heart, and say, "God, show me what I still cannot understand"? Or will you continue walking in the illusion that your vision is complete, that your understanding is sufficient, that your interpretation is final? Will you hold on to your narrative, your pain, your bitterness, your version of events, even if it means missing the truth? The choice is yours. God will not force revelation on you. He will not pry open your clenched fists and shove light into your closed eyes. He is a gentleman. He waits for the invitation. He waits for the prayer. He waits for you to finally admit, "I need you to show me. I cannot see on my own." And when that prayer is prayed, truly prayed, deeply prayed, desperately prayed, everything changes. Not immediately, not always in the way you expect, but inevitably, certainly, powerfully, God responds. He begins to peel back the layers. He begins to reveal what was hidden. He begins to open your eyes to see the world the way He sees it, to understand your story the way He understands it, to perceive His hand where you once saw only emptiness. This is not a prayer you pray once and forget. This is a prayer you pray every day. This is a posture you adopt for life, because there will always be more to see. There will always be deeper truth to grasp. There will always be higher revelation to receive. You will never reach a point where you fully comprehend God, but you can reach a point where you stop pretending you do. And that is where freedom begins. So pray it now, out loud, if you can, in the silence of your heart, if you must. But pray it, God, show me what I still cannot understand. And then wait, watch, listen, because He is about to answer. And when He does, your life will never be the same. Open my eyes, Lord, I want to see.